So you mentioned kind of owner financing, or having some skin in the game that way, and now we're talking about equity. What's a standard? Because and
Yeah.
I always stress this. I hate the hate that people do on people. So I'm not like anti Cody Sanchez. If you can buy a business for 100% owner financing, great. I just think owners can attract better buyers than that. So,
Yeah.
but so what is your general percentage that you're seeing of owner financing in these deals?
So the short answer is it very much depends. On the lower bound 0, which is more rare than common currently, banks have gone more conservative in the last year to 2 years just due to the higher SBA default rates, and some other kind of factors too. I would say with deals that do have owner financing, 5% in the lower bound, up to 20%, sometimes more. The factors that impact how much owner financing there is either has to do with customer concentration and trying to mitigate or solve around that. So, like, let's say you have one customer that's 30% of sales, and you want the seller to have additional financial motivation to make sure that that transition from the seller to you goes well, especially if there's like close relationship that's not really arm's length between the seller and that customer. Maybe they're friends or something similar. um, I'd say that's kind of one of the reasons that can draw higher seller financing, of which typically it's forgivable in nature. And then sometimes the buyer, even if the seller doesn't seem very dependent in the business, the revenue and earnings is pretty diversified and similar, but they just want the seller to have some economic chips on the table post transaction. They want like a small sliver of seller financing, 5 to 10%, give or take. Um, I would say, generally speaking, you want to get the amortization as long as possible on the seller's note in like the 8 to 10 year range. And then most banks are typically fine if you have a balloon payment around like year 4 or year 5, give or take.
Well, and I love that you brought up customer concentration, because that's a drum I've been beating on here recently. Is that like, hey guys, you got to lower this because it is a risk, and so if you don't fix that, you are going to have higher owner financing, and so it's one of those things that if you position your business sooner, because you can't fix customer concentration overnight, right? You can't say, oh, we
Right.
landed a new client, it's down to 10%, we're good. No, it takes time to
Right.
unwind that.